Hello, everybody. I would love to make an announcement about Wake Up Humanity. A young Ukrainian woman, Iryna Zarutska, fled the war to find safety. Instead, she was stabbed to death on a train in America. Her crime? None. Her mistake? Believing she was safe in the world that has lost its balance. This is not just about one killer, one city, one moment. This is a mirror showing us how fragile we are, how blind we have become. Society is breaking, and we refuse to admit it. We hear it after every tragedy, mental health. But what do we actually do? We label, we medicate, we ignore until someone snaps and another life is gone. Mental illness is not an excuse. It is a warning. A virus of loneliness, trauma is spreading, and we're all at risk. Now, look at the truth. If the roles were reversed, if a white man had murdered a black woman, the nation would already be burned. Streets filled with protests, looting, endless outrages. But when a white woman is killed, the silence is deafening. Why? Where is the equality? Where is the justice? This is not about turning one race against another. You have to understand that. It is about exposing hypocrisy. If we claim that every life matters, then why? Here is this question again. If we claim that every life matters, then why do some deaths spark chaos while others are quietly burned in silence? White people, too, have the right to safety. Refugees, women, families, all deserve protection. Enough of selective compassion, enough of the lies that divide us. If humanity is real, it cannot be conditional. We must wake up. We must look at each other, not as a categories, not as a headlines, but as human beings. Because when one life is dismissed, every life is devalued. Irina's death is not just tragedy. It is a warning, a wake-up call, a reminder that silence is complicity and hypocrisy is death. So, I ask you, will we continue to sleep, or will we rise, protect each other, and reclaim what it means to be human? Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Iryna Berman, and I'm here in studio with my show Let's Talk and with our lovely guest, Arkadiy. Arkadiy, hello.
Hello, and for my listeners as well. This is Archie, Old Friends News. This is my old friend Yelena. We have done a lot of videos, but they were in Russian language. Now we have to do it in English because a couple of things unfold recently, right? Let's talk about a couple of things, if you don't mind. The meeting of the Putin and Trump, as I predicted, and then we will go real quick that slightly topic of this Ukrainian girl being stabbed in a subway, and then about Kirk's murder, shooting. Okay, which one we're going to start from?
You like you already announced everything. I
No,
was
but
about to say what we're going to talk about, but you already said. Okay, so you want to talk about first religion part of assassination or why that girl from Ukraine was murdered? Is it was accident or you think it's connected to something?
be honest with you, I think it's just an accident. Another crazy shit that happens. A lot of women being stopped by, crazy lunatics in Europe. Mostly it's done by migrants and etc. I don't see any political, be honest with you, any political background on it. I don't see any motives. That guy was convicted. They let him go a couple of times. So that guy was a mental case. So I don't think it has anything to do with any current politics. Be honest with you.
But for me, it sounds like it is political only because all excuses on mental illness. But okay, they admitted that, but what do they do about that? Nothing. They don't treat, they don't put in the hospitals like this. People, they don't eliminate from healthy people. So I think it is political because they create in the chaos and they say, oh, we don't know anything about he was disabled mentally. So it happened, looks very natural.
It might be used politically, maybe. It is possible, just like they sent troops to Chicago, the ICE is, basically violating rights of even the citizens when they come and demand documents from you. It might be used for a political gain. Yes, yeah, I don't doubt it. But I'm like pretty sure the guy who stopped her, he had no political motives. He didn't even know if she's Ukrainian or just a regular white girl or whatever. I mean, that's different.
Another thing could be because it is very common. MK Ultras exist, hypnosis exists, NLP report exist. So why don't you think that somebody used him as a tool? That's all.
I mean, I'm not taking that out of the table. It is possible, but I don't see any yet. I don't see any serious, like evidence, at least even circumstantial, to think that that's such a big deal. It's a big deal that a young, beautiful girl was murdered for nothing. It's a big deal. It could have been you, could have been me. That's a big deal. The death of any innocent person, it's a big deal. There's no doubt about it. But from the point of view of analytical political breakdown, I don't see anything special about that stuff. It's very sad, very sad. But if you look at the statistics all over the United States, especially in downtowns of big cities, those kind of things happen on daily basis, unfortunately, and not just in United States. There were stabbing of innocent girls in Russia recently. I forgot what county it was, but I've got that video on my Telegram chat. So this kind of things happening. Unfortunately, we live in the world full of this kind of stuff.
About Kirk, right now it is a like polarization goes on. Some people even are happy of this assassination. And some, of course, especially from Israel people, they think it is political, obviously. But there is another explanation, like lately I saw in the news that kind of this happens assassination after when he went to Israel to speak to Netanyahu, and media presents like he probably didn't want to do what he was asked, and that's why they showed their power. It's just not happens by the chance. They did this because he wasn't agree with Israeli politics. So I don't know. We can stipulate a lot of things, but in reality, it's very hard to understand what happened now. So what is your explanation on this situation?
That's a little bit of a tough one, but I've got a couple of ideas I gathered for last couple of days. What happened is this: he was pro-Zionist Christian, So he was always pushing the God's agenda, which is very handy for a ruling class, disarming people from their own powers and talking about God and stuff, which made me not to take him seriously about those issues. Of course, you know my views on religion and stuff. I don't take people seriously. They discredit themselves. To me, it's like a flat earther, for example. And he was pro-Israel big time. But lately, he had an interview also with Patrick. What's his last name? I forgot that. You're right. He went to Israel and he was flown by a helicopter, and he started talking about genocidal tendencies or genocide, basically, of the Israel. And he announced that um, Israeli society is on the brink of the civil war because Netanyahu wants to basically take it down, the constitution and parliament or whatever. And that can be one of the reasons because reportedly, the first media outlet that reported his death was the Jerusalem Post. That is interesting. That was a professional organized shooting because they don't know who the shooter is. They arrested the guy named George Ziff. I don't know if the guy is Jewish or not. I've done research. I haven't found anything. This George Ziff is an older guy who's always steers some controversial ideas about him. He's acting, protesting, different places. He was running for the mayor. Then he had allegedly some bomb threats. So they arrested this guy, but the police said when he was arrested that supposedly police said that he said I shot him, but we don't know yet. But then they release him. There is no evidence of him doing. But as a matter of fact, it's clear to me that was a professional shooter's job professionally because no one sees, no one knows nothing, and some suspicious, maybe yes, maybe not, arguably suspicious people with phones were recording everything, which is also might be not suspicious because usually if Kirk or somebody else goes to have speech, some people do record those things. So I can't make a conclusion. I can come to a conclusion definitely what's happened, except one thing. It was done professionally. It was not just some lonely, crazy shooter who shoot it, and no, that was it was well designed, well thought out shooting. The thing about Kirk is he is a representative of a fake without even knowing. I'm not accusing him being fake, and it's very unfortunate that he is killed. Violence is not an answer to anything. He's a young guy. I really feel bad, especially when I see the video how he's dying. I just realized how fragile our life is. He didn't deserve bullet, that's for sure. But if we step away from these sentiments, I can just say that he was very handy and very good, useful tool for the official right wing, supposedly fake conservative narrative. He was all pro Israel, pro Jesus, and pro good things that me and you agree, such as violation of our civil rights with these mandates, vaccines, and lockdowns. He had some good points as well that I do agree. So, what's going to come out of it, we shall see. I cannot be, certainly sure about any conclusion what this was about. It is possible after him criticizing behavior of Israeli government and criticizing Netanyahu, it is possible that this was the lesson, public lesson for everyone to know. It is possible. And
I think this is
maybe,
it.
yeah, I mean,
Because
it's
they were
possible.
grooming him, they were raising him, they were educating him, and suddenly he goes on his way. So how dare you?
Right, right. It is possible. It is possible because I I was not aware of his recent somewhat criticism of Israeli politics. Somewhat. I was not aware of it. I just saw this maybe yesterday. I only knew about him being pro Zionist, pro Israel, pro this, pro that, right? The things that me and you both discussed it with. But at the same time, like I said, he's another, the Candace Owens kind of personage. that I agree with her about this, and that, but I don't agree with her then when she said, I doubt the shape of the earth and that Jesus is, I'm Christian, Jesus is the solution, all that kind of nonsense, which discredits her in my mind. But she says she has a lot of good points as well as he did. So this is something. What happened is just tells me things can be more complicated than we think of it. But for now, it's too fresh, it's too early, to have any conclusions. But yes, you're right. I agree that it's possible that the biggest motive was him changing directions a little bit. Because how dare you? You know what I'm saying? How dare you criticize Israel? Because all this supposedly conservative Republican America, 90% of Christian Zionists, they're supporting Israel. For what reasons? Because Trump does, because they've been hearing all these years that Israel is our ally, Jews are chosen people. If you're a real Christian, then you're kind of a Jew, even you have the Hebrew genetics in you. All this brainwash goes on and on and on. And especially when Trump said, "Oh, we're going to combat anti-Christian bias," he established Department of Faith, which is crazy, insane, and they are playing some kind of a cards right now. Something is being played off. I think it's going to lead to something more horrendous, more restrictive policies, or some sort of thing like that. Just like there
Yeah.
was a pretext for ICE, it was a big pretext to violate all kinds of constitutional rights. But the fact is, they deporting people, illegals, because we got a problem. In other words, I think it's that one of the next usual artificial created problems that they're going to come up with their solutions. It's a little bit too early now to have like definitive definitive opinion for me. I will hold on it. And let's talk also about some other news. Since I just came from Mexico, I made a video with Marina, which was used in some documentary about who that Schneibaum, the president of Mexico, is. Before she became a president, a lot of Mexicans were supporting her, thinking that finally someone will stop the corruption, someone will make it better. And now, this last time when I was there, which is basically a couple of days ago since I returned, most Mexicans, to my happiness, they do realize she's evil, because what she did, she implements some policies that they're going to really affect the cash transactions. And she also mandate or passed a law. I'm not sure, but I think she passed a law that all the documentation in Mexico will be with biometrics. They start installing in the south of Mexico a lot of cities, surveillance cameras everywhere, supposedly to fight cartels or crime. And they start forcefully making the cities use electric climate. You know what I'm saying? Climate stuff, climate protective measures, which is electrical buses. They're not sufficient, etc., etc. So uh, this negative development in Mexico becomes an obvious for a lot of Mexicans, because Mexico predominantly it's a cash society. It's based on the small moms and pops businesses everywhere. I mean, Mexico is one of the few countries that economy is based on the family business. Restaurants, coffee shops, little souvenir stores, ice cream shops, whatever it is, fruit stands, food stands, in every corner, basically.
Yeah.
It's heavily dependent on the small people's business, and it's 99% it's cash.
Yeah, but it is will be all over the world, so nothing new. They just will try to see how it works in certain society, and they will do small corrections. But what I see from all of what's going on, the security is going to be higher, and excuse for to make a more regime like you're in prison. For example, we have
For your protection.
yeah. So that's all. Because now they say, oh, it was bad security. Now we have to work more on security level. And we are wake up tomorrow, you cannot go buy bread without security.
Yeah, in China it's implemented. There's even public restrooms that you can't use the toilet paper unless you show them There's a special QR code system you should use to
Exactly.
take your
Identify yourself in order to
identify
go.
yourself, how much you wipe your ass daily. Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, yes, I mean that's their plan. We will see if it's going to be successful or not, or it will succeed to the levels that it will make our life miserable or not.
You know
Which
what?
was
I have a solution. Look at this. I have a solution about the wiping your ass. I think at that moment we will use like this man is doing. It's right in front of my eyes. Look at this video. This guy,
yeah, hold your phone a little bit further, more far. Okay, this way. Okay,
he's doing performance here. And performance is basically he's doing pee. And he will finish it, and then he will go on the bus station. That's all. So this is what we have to do. If they all ask identity to go in the restroom, this is what you have to do right in front of that. It's a joke, guys. We are laughing. You don't have to follow our advice, please. I'm just
unless you really want to pee, you just pull over and pee. Make sure nobody see it. I've done it on the way back from Mexico. You spend an hour or half an hour in the gas station where you have even showers and everything you need. You just don't feel like peeing. Once you hit the road, 1 hour later, 30 minutes later, it just kills you. You're just blowing up. You can't hold that no more. That's life. Things happen. It's Murphy's law, happen all the time. So the developments are not nice. Put it this way. Again, this assassination of the Kirk, it's either theater to ignite society divided furthermore, or it's that too, and also sign if he was taken down because of he started criticizing a regime of Israel, or maybe that also is in the package, comes with it. We don't know, but for sure it was organized professionally. It wasn't done by just some politically opposing person, Democrat who's crazy about conservatives. No, this was not a coincidence. There is forces behind it. The people who got arrested, they were released because they didn't do any of what they've been accused of. And I'm not going to even go to dates. The first who was reported it was a Jerusalem Post. That's a fact. First who reported that.
so it is an answer.
That is kind of a red flag right there. Yes. I have no evidence, I have no proof, but I think it's a red flag. And we should be cautiously following to see what is the next step, what's the follow up is going to be on that. We will see.
Yeah.
And the Trump speech, of course, Trump is a double faced, triple faced actor who can say whatever public needs to hear, of course. I don't even pay attention to what he says anymore, except I'm waiting for the day when him and Putin finally going to shake hands, as I predicted, as it's going to happen. I'm certain about this. I'm going to make a peace with Russia, and Russia is going
Yeah,
to have to keep.
obviously. Depends on what kind of conditions.
Yeah, yeah. The conditions be very bad for Ukrainian people. All that land was cleansed and prepared for some other ethnical group, which is openly now being, talked about it, openly admitted, and whatever the lands, so-called Russia, which is I don't even call it Russia, globalist wing of Russia took it, divided. It's gonna kept behind the Russia for the most part. Maybe some compromises will happen. Maybe some agreements will be with some territories of Ukraine. Maybe that's possible, but not likely. So this is the development. So Armenia was sold out by signing off that contract with participation of Trump, which was a guarantee for peace. My question is, where was a guarantee of that peace for the last 30 years when Artsakh was independent country and nobody even acknowledged that? Nobody bothered even acknowledging it, including Armenia itself and the Putin and the Russia. That's funny, isn't it? When Crimea was acknowledged immediately, but Artsakh, which is Nagorno-Karabakh, was not. It seems like they were forces, and according to the former president of Armenia, that I couldn't do nothing, Serge Sarkisian. I hate that guy, but he was honest about that. He admitted. He said one of his recordings, sound recordings. He said, "I couldn't do nothing. There were big forces involved." And we know Israel, US, Turkey, they're all buddies, no matter what the publicly they say to each other. They pushing this program is going to be pipeline going through, etc. Yada yada. There's many things. Why would have they done it and given it to under the control of Israel? Officially, Israel is not on a paper, but Israel is ally for Azerbaijan and slash Turkey. And no matter what the Turkish government says, there is a biggest trade going between Turkey and Israel. That proves, just like between Russia, the pipelines between Russia through the Ukraine, and in the meantime, they send their kids to
Yeah.
die and kill each other. So all this theater and spectacle is still keeps rolling. So what's gonna come out of it? I have no idea yet, Yelena. But this is a sign, definitely sign, not only assassinating a Kirk and getting rid of the Kirk. No, this has deeper and bigger reasons behind it.
I think it's a big mistake for them, they will realize, because the ego went so far and they did what they did. And I think by this action, it in the long run will show they were mistaken. And we like when the people do mistakes because it completely changes direction of the flow.
We'll see. Honestly, at this point, like I said, Yelena, honestly, at this point, I have no comments more than what I just said. So
Yeah,
far, yes, it's obviously it's pre-planned, pre-designed, not only on a compulsive level of some crazy guy saying, "Oh, fuck you, conservatives,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
shoot you. I'm sick and tired of your criticism of transgenders and stuff." No, it's gonna be steered in some different direction because there were he was speaking about some transgender violence and stuff like that. I mean, knowing or not knowing, he steers some another subject besides the political left and right wing stuff about transgender. I think he knowingly or not knowingly starts steering into this transgender agenda by igniting that subject even more than it's supposed to be emphasized. I don't even think anyone should emphasize this subject at all. But it
It
seems,
is what it is.
yes, there is an invisible hand who's always want to steer the sexual subject, especially the transgender stuff, and just want to open can of worms and make conversations or
Oh,
debates
it's all
or
about money because this all valuable and financially it is very profitable. Surgery and everything about the psychology, pills and everything, facility
you
and
got it.
quality and
You
divorce,
got it.
speech and everything. It's like
That's another reason. You
so,
got it. Imagine how much funding from a government will get those private companies for those surgeries, for example, or hormone enhancements if they convince people you need this, you need this. Yeah, there is a lot of agendas behind it. The fact is, me or you or our listeners, none of us going to benefit. That's for sure.
I would love to say just small thing. Probably not too many people will hear us, but we are definitely with Arkady not against anybody except if you're human. If you're human, we are all for you. And if people will stop just criticizing for being something different from your visual plan how world's supposed to run around you or how people supposed to look at your opinion. So then everything will be fine, and then nobody will use it and abuse it. So tomorrow I will invite everybody to hear another opinion on Kirk with English from Special Forces with Simon Brazilian. So he will tell his point of view and very similar to yours, but a little bit will be something additionally. So we will know
That
more.
will be nice to hear it. I'm looking forward to, because like I said, I've listened to a little bit of a James Corbett, Fetzer. Basically, the bottom line is that he changes directions a little bit, start criticizing Iran, especially with the interview with the Patrick, and then he had another interview. If I'm not mistaken, was either with Tucker or some other. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. But I've seen two interviews.
Yeah.
One that I memorized was with Patrick, and he was saying all what you said. We said that he was in Israel. Israeli society is on a break of civil, war. They don't like the politics of Netanyahu, and he kind of said, kind of that he doesn't either. Blah blah blah. So yes, what's going on in Palestine is not that cool. Whatever the case is, uh, I suspect. Okay, I'm just going to speculate. I'm not sure, but I suspect that special interest of that little country with the name Israel has his hands in it. I think so because their biggest puppet, with the name of Trump, is serving the purpose. He's fine, but then some other people, supporters of Trump from the same fake narrative of right wing conservatives, got out of the line a little bit. You know what I mean? It's a little bit. It's too early to say for sure what's happening. Maybe it's as simple as, yes, you speak up against us. Here is a cup for your head. That's it. Maybe it's that simple and that's it. Nothing else behind it. Probably, I won't be surprised if that's only it. So we'll see. But the development, the biometrics development for Mexico is not the good one, because a lot of Americans, I was in a blog, all the Americans who's seeking refuge in Mexico, they said we're gonna end up here from what we were running away from. You know what I mean?
Terrible.
Yeah, because Mexico is a pretty free country. Be honest with you, with all the corruption, whatever. Maybe the corruption is the reason of freedoms. It's pretty free country. So I mean, we'll see. We're
Thank you
gonna
for the
do.
opinion, and
No,
we'll look
thank
into
you
what
for
we're
the interview. Thank you. I think we should do this more often, because my BitChute channel lately has been kind of on pause because I had to go. It's summertime. I
like
think so.
mine as well.
Yeah, yeah. So we have to come back to more active, because don't forget, people want to hear from us, and we have to do as much as possible. And yeah, another news of World Economic Forum, they replaced the Schwab. They put another Jewish figures in it, which tells me that World Economic Forum right now it's losing. From what I see, it's losing its powers. It's not going to be uh, as active as it used to be. And there was a scandal of the emails, homosexual emails of the what is it called, Schwab. That's funny. We can talk about it some separate time. Yeah, there is a new team in World Economic Forum. Let me just read the names a little bit. That's funny. So World Economic Forum's new replacements, new faces, new.
It could be, for example, he started something and then he gives in order to continue with a different energy, with a different viewpoints.
Yes, yes. Here was founded. It was founded by Klaus Schwab. We know that. So, and chair of the board of trustees. Blah blah. Forum is managed by its president and CEO, Borj Brande, and managing board. So, leadership and governance. The World Economic Forum. I urge people just to look into it. There is some interesting characters right now replacing the Schwab. Very interesting. That is very interesting, because this character Borj Brande is a new leader. I mean, uh, I don't know about how evil that guy is, but it seems like I've been listening to James Corbett with the here he is, here he is. It
Mhm.
seems like I listened to James Corbett. He had a pretty good breakdown as far as the evilness of the Schwab. As far as the level of evilness, this guy is much less evil, or maybe he's not that evil at all. We don't know. But World Economic Forum, with his coming, the new guy, Borj Brande, is gonna lose, and it's obvious they're gonna lose. They kind of even admit it, because I've heard a couple of videos from them. They're gonna lose a lot of the powers that they had when Schwab was over there, and this is that guy. And even if you look at the face, it's not that disgusting as Schwab. Put it this way. We all agree on that
Younger.
one.
Yeah, it was more
And there's a scandal about the Schwab's emails and stuff, which is a cover up. A lot of interesting developments is going to be on the World Economic Forum also. This is what we should watch really, really carefully. I'm looking
yeah,
forward to.
great.
So, with all that said, everyone have a good night or a good day. Share our videos and follow up Yelena Berman. She's a psychologist, family issues, problems, divorce, marriage specialist, even though she is herself is Can I say it? The worst
Yeah,
kind
go
of
ahead. You can say
is
whatever you want.
this good-looking woman is the worst. I don't know. The life is not fair. I've been saying this, but that's okay. We'll go through that too. So thanks for watching, and we promise we're gonna make some more videos. I promise I'm gonna make some more videos too. So far, the updates are like that. We're in shit, but not in deep shit.
Okay, great. As long as we know where to go.
Right.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.